Good morning, this is Tuck with Tuck GC. It's bright and early, about 7 a.m. We're out here in Alexandria, Virginia, and today we're going to be replacing this apron here in front of me. As you see, we got a beautiful home build here with great stonework and concrete work throughout, but unfortunately the apron was not done to the VDOT code. So this particular client is trying to get occupancy permit, and one of the things in the way is the approval of this apron and also the release of the bond. So we're going to go through today and show you what's wrong with this one, how to put a new one in, and then the completed product at the end. Let's take a closer look. So right off the bat, one thing that you're going to notice is even though there's not a sidewalk here present, you're supposed to build these like there may be a sidewalk and be within ADA compliancy. So this first 4 feet there should actually be just level with a 2% slope and then kick back to the street. It's just one continuous slope the whole way down. Another issue is the flow line here at the street. The old-fashioned way to do it was to have a lip in place like this, but unless there's circumstances where water would flow back into the property, VDOT does require a smooth flow line and transition there. One of the key things to the CG-9D is the radius. So I've painted in the yard there what the radius should have been, and you see it's almost a straight line. So putting that radius, and then also as this curb comes back, you don't want to have that hard edge there that you see on the curb and gutter. It's supposed to actually round back into the apron. Kind of hard to explain right now, but once we complete the product, we'll be able to show you better. Another thing VDOT is looking for is 6-foot sections minimum of curb and gutter. So on this left-hand side, you see they stopped about a foot short. They needed a saw cut over by the white line there, right by the missed utility marking, and leave a full 6-foot section. On top of that, you can see the work along the street. They just kind of curved it and wiggled it to follow the asphalt. That's not proper protocol. We're supposed to keep a straight angle on this and then do a street repair after if it's required. On the right side, we need the same 9-foot radius, but you'll see over here we got lucky because we can saw cut right there where the apron ends, and then this whole section of curb and gutter, we're just over 6 feet, about 6'2", so we can actually leave that section in place without replacing it. All right, that's pretty much it for now. We got the boys coming down the block with the sun rising behind them. We're ready to rock and roll. So we'll have this thing formed up and ready to pour by about 10:30 a.m. I'll come back at the end and show you the completed video. All right, so we just finished up the job. Got the apron poured all to the VDOT specs. Let's take a closer look. All right, starting on the side here, you see that when you go up the apron, there's no lip. Like in the old-fashioned way, you basically had that lip there. Sorry for the zoom in, but they've gotten rid of that lip. And now it's just a smooth transition so you can go in and out without hitting that bump. The other key thing here is the radius. Now this is a 9-foot radius. So essentially you start 9 feet off the street is where the property line or the driveway ends. You mark a point over there, 9 feet from the driveway, 9 feet from the curb, and then you hold a curved radius that makes this exact perfect 9-foot flare that then comes to the curb and gutter here and ends. We have the same thing on this side with the radius, and then as I mentioned in the first part of the video, we had that 6-foot section of curb and gutter that was left, which we replaced there. Pardon the debris that's on here. Until it dries we can't really clean it up, but I wanted to give you a close-up of how that radius is supposed to look where the curb transitions into the apron in a nice smooth manner to where you won't have to worry about banging up a rim, having a trip hazard, anything like that. You'll notice that this first 4-foot section here is almost level, it just has a tiny bit of slope, about a 2% grade, and then once you get past that 4 foot, it kicks to the street to get to the level there to exit onto the road. Now the purpose of this, in this case, you know, there's no walkway here, but in traditional locations there would be a walkway here, and this is the pedestrian access point or pedestrian access route that where if there was a walkway, this would be a flat surface where people can walk across without risking any sort of injury by being tilted too much or sloped too much. So even though there's no walkway here, we still have to follow those same guidelines. One of the other key things is you want to have expansion joint material between your driveway and your apron. You want to have expansion joint material down the center. And then you want to have expansion joint material where the apron ends. And then again, the expansion joint material where you connect to the cold joint over there on the old curb and gutter. And the same thing here on this side with the expansion joint. Remember, we had that 6-foot section there left, which was the right size that we could keep in place. We didn't have to remove that. This is one small little add-on we did here right before the project was done. We had a little extra concrete, a little extra time, so we actually put in this step in this landing here for the client just to finish off this new home build. They just had a small wooden step here before. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and anybody that's looking how to put these in, hopefully you learned something. And you know, I feel bad for this client that they had to pay for it twice, but hopefully you can learn from their mistake and you call me from the beginning to get it done right the first time. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.